Okay, hello, hello. Larissa here. Welcome to my Lunch and Learn, where each and every week we explore topics to help you elevate your mindset, be at your best, and radically expand your life and business. And last week we spoke about beliefs, what they are, how they influence your decisions, how they influence your relationships, and ultimately your success in life. And today we're looking at limiting beliefs once again, but really on how you can overcome these limiting ones and cultivate a positive mindset. So last week was more about what they are and how they work and where they came from. This week, I'm going to give you some tools and strategies and really outline what the process you need to take is if you actually want to overcome any limitations you've got. So if you've ever felt like you're the only one standing between you and the life of your dreams or the success you desire, that's a sign you've got some limiting beliefs at work. Maybe it might feel like you want to do one thing, yet you do another because you feel like you should, or other people expect things of you. You might be really successful on the outside, yet still hear voices of self doubt saying things like, people know I'm really good, but if only they knew, I might not be good enough, right? I might not be as good as they think, or I'm too smart to have these problems. You might even see yourself sabotaging your progress just to hold yourself back, or not taking leaps or chances that are part of what you claim you want because another part is in conflict. So this is really about you not moving forward in life. And the bad news is limiting beliefs are around. We all have them. But the good news is you don't have to keep them. They are like barriers and they keep you stuck. And I'm going to show you how you can replace them with more empowering and positive beliefs. So, some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Larisa McCook, author of Stop Procrastinating Your Life Away, Discover the Secrets to More Time, Money, and Freedom, and also CEO of Abundance Academy, where we help professional women who are already successful stop holding themselves back from what they're truly capable of. We help them manifest their dreams and desires and radically expand their lives and businesses. So let me know where you're coming in from. If you're tuning in by replay, type in replay in the chat. If this is your very first time here, then type in first time so my team and I can thank you for being here. I truly appreciate your presence. I am so happy and feel so blessed that you're here. So let us know that you're around. So, what is a limiting belief? A limiting belief is essentially a state of mind or belief about yourself. Okay, it's about yourself that restricts you in some way. And these beliefs often are false accusations that you might make about yourself, and they can cause a number of negative results. So let's just say if there are negative results in your life, that's a sign that there are limiting beliefs or something that you believe about yourself that's not allowing you to get that result. Okay, because ultimately you are responsible for your results. And I find it's really helpful to sit with new concepts and really study them. So if you are interested in, if you know you're like, I got some stuff going on, I've believed these things and I want to move forward, but I just can't seem to, and this is always ticking along in the background, then I want you to start studying this concept. And I have in my Stop Procrastinating Your Life Away book, I actually have a chapter about limiting beliefs and how you can overcome them. And what's really, really important is that you learn what they are and how they show up in your life. So get the book. It's free. I'll have my team pop a link in the chat or in the description of this video, but feel free to download a link and really study what a limiting belief even is for you. Okay, like go look up the definition in the dictionary, look up at some of the different ways I explain it in the book, and you'll start to see how it plays out in your life. Okay, so when you're overcoming a limiting belief, you're actually defeating this opponent, defeating this limiting belief. You're letting it go. You're dealing with this problem or difficulty. Now, on the flip side of things, we want to let go of this limiting belief and then step into this positive mindset. And what's a positive mindset? It's being optimistic about the world around you and basically expecting good things are going to happen to you. It's a positive mental attitude, similar to what Norman Vincent Peale used to talk about. And when you have a positive mindset and you cultivate a positive mindset, it's essentially where you're being a deliberate creator of your own reality. You just like you cultivate a crop, you can cultivate your mindset and you can design it and structure it the way that you want it. Now, back in the 1900s, James Allen, he was a British philosophical writer, and he was known for his inspirational books way back then, over 100 years ago. And one of his most famous books is As a Man Thinketh. And if you haven't read it, I suggest you get it. It's written in older form, in older text, but it is really, really good. And so this book has been mass produced all over the world since 1902. And he talks about the mind being like a garden. Okay, your mind is like a garden. And he says it can be intelligently cultivated or left to just run wild. However, either way, whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth what you plant. And the thing is, the garden does not care what you plant. It will produce the crop. If you plant weeds, you're going to get weeds. Plant beautiful flowers, and you will get those too. It's up to you to choose what you plant. And nature will have it grow. When you water it, when you give it sun, meaning when you give your thoughts attention, when you give these energies that you're bringing into your life attention, they will grow and they will get stronger and they will get bigger. And so this is a beautiful metaphor because it lays the framework for limiting belief shifts. Limiting beliefs are a really hot topic in the personal growth and development world because people are tired of being held back. And when you pull the weeds from the garden of your mind, I always think, okay, I have these weeds, I'm pulling. You might do a big weeding at the beginning. However, as time goes on, you still must keep weeding your garden. If you don't keep weeding your garden, what's going to happen is you're not giving it attention and you're not being deliberate about it, and it's going to overgrow with those other crops or other things that you don't desire. And so this is a lifelong process. And I want you to realize that no matter how successful you become, new limiting beliefs will always come up. I literally just had a talk with a client about this yesterday. She's like, I've done so well and I've overcome so many things with you because we've done some breakthrough work. We've addressed some things. And she's like, and they've never come back. However, as I'm taking on this new challenge and stepping into this next version of myself and adding new things to my life, I have a few new things that have come up. And so she's got the experience to recognize them. And instead of her saying, oh my gosh, life is so hard, life is so tragic, she realizes what this is. And she's like, okay, this other inconvenient thing is coming up. Let me deal with it. And I think the more comfortable you just get with this idea of limiting beliefs are around, they come, they can go, then you can do things to be proactive with the process. It's not a super scary thing. It's not like, oh, you have a limiting, we all do. It's just, is it really getting in your way at this point? And if it is, deal with it. And if not, that's okay. It may not be anything that's negatively affecting you. So just don't give it energy, starve it of attention. So last week when we were talking about limiting beliefs, we talked about beliefs in general, right? They can be limiting or unlimiting. So when they limit you, they hold you back. When they're unlimiting, they fuel you forward. And we want to let go of the ones that hold us back and spend more time with the beliefs that actually fuel us forward. Okay? They're not necessarily good. They're not necessarily bad because certain beliefs may be appropriate at certain points in time. Let's say if you are younger, I am an exceptional student. I'm a great follower. I listen to guidance. I believe I need to follow direction in order to be successful. That is a good strategy for a student or for someone that's following a mentor. However, let's say you evolve in your process and all of a sudden you need to start managing things and you may need to manage your life. Well, maybe you're an excellent manager. I'm an excellent money manager. I'm excellent at managing my team and ensuring they stay on track. I'm excellent at managing my household. Maybe you have a household that you've got to manage and there are certain skills that are required. And and you develop the belief system that you're no longer just a good student, but you're also a good manager. You could be a good student, but you're also a good manager. You've got a different belief system, but you didn't have the belief system that you were a good manager back then. Well, let's say you evolve in your growth and development process, and then you become a leader. And you're no longer managing things. You may manage some managers. You may be responsible for managers, but as a leader, your job is to cast a vision for the future. Your job is to really understand people and what moves them and speak to that. And so you can still be an excellent student. However, you must adopt the belief system of an excellent leader. And if you don't believe that, you will not be able to be successful. Okay. So that's how, as you progress in your roles, things are going to start to shift. But the biggest thing that you need to know is everything you believe is true. Whether good, whether bad, it doesn't matter. Everything you believe is true, because what I believe is true might be different than what you believe is true. What I believe is really tasty, you may not think is tasty. We all have different beliefs and different preferences. And so your truths are expressed in your decision making, your identity, your perspective, your motivation, and emotional responses, and so much more. And so there's a recipe that if you want to change beliefs that are limiting you, that are holding you back, how do you do that? Okay, I'm going to give you 3 steps. Actually, 4 steps. First, you got to identify the belief. You have to know, what is this thing that's actually holding me back? And then you've got to let it go. You've got to get it out of the way. And you've got to let it go completely. You may not let it go completely right off the bat, but fairly soon you've got to just let it go. Step 3 is replace it with something more desirable. Okay. And the thing is, if you don't replace it with something more desirable, nature abhors a vacuum. So if there's like an empty space, it's like limiting belief was over here and you've let it go. What's it going to do? Nature's going to put another belief that's of a similar nature there because it thinks that's what should be there. It's kind of like when you have a closet and you clean out your closet and you're like, oh, look at all the space between the hangers. And then you find your way in a mall and you're like, well, I've got some space in my closet. So here's this. How did the universe know I needed to fill my closet? And all of a sudden it's full again. Okay. So you want to be deliberate with what you put in there. Okay. So when you let a belief go, you deliberately put something purposeful back in there, just like you want to be deliberate about what you put in your closet, not just the random thing that you find on sale and never happen to wear. And then the 4th step is repeat, 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 repeat. You want to repeat and reinforce this new positive belief, this new belief that serves you. Okay. Now, this seems simple. This might seem really simple. However, there are a few things that a lot of people tend to miss in this process. Okay. And these are the nuances that make these 4 simple seeming steps actually work, because it's never really the thing that's the problem. It's the thing behind the thing. And if you don't understand some of the nuances and the finesse in order to get a successful result, then you're never going to get the result. And you'll wonder why you're taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. And it's so hard. So what do people miss? First, they don't actually buy into the change. They're like, oh, Larisa said do this. I'm going to follow her 4 steps. Yay. Okay. Well, but if in the back of your mind, you're talking back to yourself and you don't believe what you're trying to reinforce, it ain't going to work. So this is a process that's typically taught in the coaching industry. And I'm going to just share it. It's like, write your limiting belief. And I'm going to use the limiting belief of I am unworthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Then you write it to what you want it to be. I am worthy. I am good enough. I'm awesome. And you're going, no, you're talking back to yourself. Every time you say it, you're like, I'm awesome. No, you're not. And you're saying even worse things to yourself as you're trying to reinforce this positive belief. And there's this mental chatter in the back of your mind. And so what happens when you do that is you're losing trust with yourself every time you say it, because deep down you're saying you're such a liar. Like, that's not cool either. So what you want to do is still follow the process, find the positive belief or the negative belief, rewrite to the positive, but bridge it. Okay. We're going to add one more step after that. So when you identify the positive belief you do want, unless you actually believe it, then add a bridge. And what you would do is you would add a word like becoming. I'm becoming more and more worthy every day. Perhaps you might add allowing. Okay, you've got to use the right word for you. I'm allowing myself to be more worthy. I'm allowing myself to be worthy in this moment. You could even make it a decision, right? Turn it into a decision. This is a very powerful directive word for your unconscious mind. I've decided that I was put on this planet for a reason, and I've decided to be worthy today. I've decided to be worthy. I've decided that I am worthy. I've decided to be, I've decided to give myself permission to be more worthy today than I was yesterday. Can you hear how I'm massaging these words? But I want to make sure I feel good about them. You want to make sure you feel good about them, whatever your challenge is. And so you may need to massage, you may need to play a little bit. And this is something we've taught in many of our workshops. I go through the process of taking this old belief to a new belief to a decision in my Stop Procrastinating Your Life Away book. So again, check out the link if that's something you want to download, because it is such a powerful process. And then you take this affirmation and you keep repeating it, repeating it, repeating it. You might repeat it for 2 days or 2 weeks. Usually most people won't have to add this bridge for more than 2 weeks. If you actually do it every day, like let's say 3 to 5 times a day, and you repeat this new belief with the bridge, sooner than later, you're going to be able to drop the bridge. You're not going to have to say it anymore. You'll be able to say, I'm worthy. Of course I'm worthy. Like, how could I have ever thought I was unworthy? Because you will actually believe it, but you've taken the time to allow it to soak in. Okay. The second thing that people tend to miss is they don't take action that's in alignment with the belief. So I'll give you another example. If you want to release weight and you affirm that you're getting more and more healthy each day, yet you're eating the same amount of cookies you did yesterday and your Netflix consumption has not changed, your unconscious mind won't be able to buy into that. Because let's say you had 3 cookies yesterday, but you have 2 cookies today, and you watch 2 hours of Netflix and you watch 1 hour of Netflix today. You can say, I'm getting more and more healthy each day. I'm taking action in a positive way. Cool. Because that's true. You could eliminate it altogether. I'm not saying eliminate it altogether. I'm just saying say things that are true and take action in alignment. And eventually you will let go of those cookies, or you will turn them into healthier cookies, or you will turn them into more constructive activities. Instead of Netflix, you go for a walk if you're looking to release weight, right? You're increasing your activity. Whatever it is that you need to do, you must make sure that the decision you're making and the beliefs that you're desiring are consistent with the actions you're taking. They go hand in hand. And I think a lot of times people just believe that, oh yeah, beliefs are in here and in here. Yeah. And on planet Earth, because we're people, we must have the actions correspond. Okay. So we call it integrating your belief with behavior. Take courageous action to prove it to yourself. Now, third, you must fully let go of what you're letting go of. You've got to actually let it go. And the best way to do that is by learning a lesson. So it's like, what can I learn from this experience where I decided, because every belief we adopt, we decided at some point. And we made these decisions to take on these beliefs, even if they're limiting, generally to protect us or keep us safe or be a useful mechanism for us. Chances are the limiting beliefs you've had long-term came to you when you were under 7 years of age. And so this is this is so common. This is what I see every single day when I work with clients, especially in the breakthrough scenario. So I'm going to give you an example. I had one client who was incredibly successful in her career, and she had a beautiful home that she loved. She had amazing, amazing kids that she adored, yet she had never really had a really, truly fulfilling, intimate relationship with a man. She had a great husband. She had a few great boyfriends. They were okay, but there was always something missing. And she realized, she's like, I hold myself back. When I'm at work, I'm in my greatness. When I am a mother, I am in my greatness. And with these men, I am totally not at my best. I hold myself back. And after going through some explorations, after an exploratory process, we realized that she held this belief because deep down she felt like she was unlovable. And this belief came from a time when she was young. And it was actually when she was about 4 years old. And she felt rejected by her father when he was busy with something else. And looking back on it now, you go, oh, well, that doesn't seem that crazy. But as a 4-year-old, that was a logical response. Okay. Feeling like she wasn't loved seemed like a logical response. If you have kids, sometimes you're like, can you not see how illogical your response is? No, they can't, because it's a matter of life and death in their mind. It's a matter of safety or danger in their mind. Their brain responds in a very animalistic way because it's not fully developed yet. And so it's a reasonable response at the time. And in her case, we used a process called timeline therapy. It's a technique designed by Dr. Tad James, and it's one that I use in my personal breakthrough sessions all the time. But what we did is we went back to the very first time that she held this event, and this event took place, and she realized that she was lovable, she was curious, she was beautiful, she was persistent, she was important, she was confident, she was feel free to be her, and so much more. And by finding these realizations, by learning these learnings about herself, she was able to let go of this limitation and never bring it back again. And I've seen so many clients eliminate lifelong deep-rooted limiting beliefs in as little as 5 to 15 minutes using this process. It is that fast. And the good thing is that you learn what you can learn so that you can let it go. Because if you just try to let it go, but there's something that you need to learn about yourself, something that you need to learn about your magnificence, something that you need to take with you in your now, you can bless and release with authenticity, integrity, and grace. So I hope that's making sense. So really important that you fully let it go. And the best way to do that is by learning what you need to learn. The most simple and straightforward way, you can try to do it yourself, but the simple and straightforward way is through timeline therapy. It's like a conscious, unconscious process. Okay. So if you want to learn more about that, just message myself or my team and we'll help you connect to that. We can talk to you more about what that could look like for you. Now, the other thing is they look at the surface level belief, not the root cause. So kind of like a dandelion, we were talking about the mind being a garden. When you pull a dandelion and you pull the root, it doesn't come back. But when you just pull the leaves or the flower, it regrows. And so you've got to identify the root cause. Otherwise, you're going to just do a belief here, look at a belief here, look at a belief here, and you might be limiting believing. Easy for her to say. You might just be changing all these things over and over, but there's usually something below the surface, several layers deep. Okay. And you want to get really deep with this. The tricky thing with this is it's difficult to diagnose the root cause on your own. Okay. You can ask yourself and you can go there. However, what I've realized is I do this with clients all the time. I've been doing this for many, many years with clients and helping them find their root cause of their problems. However, when I have a problem that comes up and I'm like, oh, this is a lingering thing I didn't realize, but today I realize I've got this thing coming up. I don't try to self-diagnose it because I realize I've come to learn that I trick myself. My mind is really, really fast. The unconscious mind works faster than the conscious mind can process. And I've seen it in clients and I've seen it on myself that we try to go in circles and we try to think things through, but you can't think these things through because they're happening at a deeper level that's beyond your level of full awareness. And so I go to a colleague to work with when I have things come up because I know I'm going to spin when I try to self-diagnose. And so when you know that you need to go to someone for a recurring problem, the sign is maybe this thing has been around for years or decades, or you've tried to do one of these do-it-yourself rewriting belief shifts and it didn't work. Okay. If it works, awesome. That's the first thing you go to. Start with that. But if it doesn't work and you're like, this thing is really affecting me and I want to let it go, and it's frustrating me, it's negatively impacting my life, I need to go to someone so I can get it done fast. It doesn't have to take a long time. And again, there's questions that a trained professional can go through to help you uncover the actual root cause. You've got to look at some conscious and unconscious perspectives. And so it's looking below the surface. So again, if that's something you do want to explore, then feel free. Maybe if my team can pop a link in the chat, you feel free to book a free consultation. And we can talk about what your challenge is that you're having, what limiting beliefs are that are haunting you or taunting you, that you are ready to let go of. If this is something that you're frustrated with and you don't want to hang on to, then do book a free consultation if you're ready to make a change. And we could talk about what the process could look like for you depending on what your situation is. So no obligation, but feel free to do that. So those are some specific ways. So again, timeline therapy, most straightforward thing, not something you can do on your own. So that's something we can help you with, or if there's another situation, we can connect you to a trained professional. Make sure to align the belief you're changing with the behavior you've got, and then make sure to rewrite the belief and then frame it in a way that you can actually buy into it before you repeat. So you know you're buying into it when it's aligned with your heart. There's a few other techniques that could work to overcome limiting beliefs. I'm not going to go into them in depth because I would say those are the most common and predictable. But a few other things, if you've got these tools in your toolbox, like self-hypnosis, that's a beautiful process. There are a lot of really fun tools that you can use in the NLP world, the neuro linguistic programming world, to help you confuse the problems out of you or help you reframe them. You can also, if you're into the energetics, if you're into what some people might call more woo-woo world, but they work beautifully. If you are an energetic person, you can use your pendulum and command your unconscious mind to let it go. You can do things like kinesthetic testing and use that as a guide to see if the belief is still there after you command your unconscious mind to let it go. And ultimately, and also some forms of counseling might be helpful as well. If you really are looking to cultivate a positive mindset, let the old stuff out and start spending time with these new positive thoughts. Maybe these are the new beliefs that you're looking to rewrite, but also really start learning at what a positive mindset is for you. Look at what a beautiful and successful and fulfilling life is for you. Start spending time with that every single day and take actions to recognize them. Take positive actions. Maybe it's something like, wow, I avoided this and today I took action on it, and I didn't finish it, but I took action on it, and I've avoided it for 6 months, but today I went and did it. Today I picked up my book and I've decided to start writing 15 minutes a day. I'm going to write 15 minutes a day to write my new book. I'm going to train my team. I'm going to spend a little extra time with those in my world to truly support and motivate them effectively. Okay, whatever that is, it could be a small action, but what small action do you need to take to move forward in your everyday life? And spend time with people that are in this world. Who you spend time with is who you become. And to cultivate a positive mindset, osmosis is one of the easiest and best ways to actually allow it to soak into your body and into your neurological system. So I hope this is really helpful for you. Again, let go of the old, step into the new, do it in a way that you believe and buy into. And if you can't do it yourself, go get help. Start spending time with these new concepts and new people that support you along the way, and life is going to be very good. Because the thing is, your life is already really good. Your life is already beautiful. Your job is simply to recognize that. So if you're interested in downloading a copy of the Stop Procrastinating Your Life Away book, go ahead and do that now. Links are in the chat or in the description of this video. And if you want to book a call, if you're actually serious, if you're like, yeah, I have had this thing that's been in my world, it's affecting my work in a negative way, it's affecting me personally, and I'm doubting myself, I don't have the belief in myself, it's affecting my relationships, whatever your problem is, we all have problems, but if your problem is affecting you and it's getting in your way of this beautiful future you want, reach out to me and book a call with myself or my team. And what we can do is we can help show you if this is a process that makes sense. If not, we will send you somewhere else, and we can really take a look at what the change process could look like for you. Okay, so no obligation, but if you are serious about making a change, then definitely reach out and let's have a conversation. So with that, I hope you have a beautiful week. We've got some amazing, amazing sessions coming up over the next several weeks and some surprises coming up this fall. So stay tuned, plug into our Lunch and Learns each and every week, whether live or